Why, hello everyone, how are you doing this fine day? Hope you're enjoying your week. Welcome to another survival challenge. In particular, a Doom the Dark Ages survival challenge. You know the deal, I've done this a couple times now, but in case you don't, the basic gist of this challenge is that I'm gonna take Doom Guy, the character of Doom Guy, the Doom Slayer, the scourge of the demonic hordes, and I'm just erasing his ass from existence. He's not here anymore, he's gone. Then I'm gonna take 4 heroes from different series and replace him with those heroes and see how would they do if they were put in the same situation, having to fight against Azrak's horde to defend Argentinor and the rest of the Argenta people. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, because I've already made similar videos to this in the past, I've already explained everything I need to explain about Azrak's demon horde and everything he can do and all that stuff, so it's not going to be in this video. If you don't know anything about Azrak or his demon horde, you might want to go check out that first video I did. I'll put a link somewhere on the video right here so that you're not just staring at the screen dumbfounded, not having any fucking idea what I'm talking about. Or you could just say fuck it and jump on in the deep end without any floaties and see how that works. I mean, it's up to you. Do what you want. But I've wasted enough of your time. Let's get started. First up on the chopping block, we have Denji from Chainsaw Man. And, well, I mean, he's not gonna die. That's something. Okay, so the reason why Denji is first on this list is because out of every protagonist I have ever seen in manga or comic books or TV shows or even really most novels, Denji may quite possibly be the most susceptible to corruption out of all of them. Like, the demons don't even have to use mystical, magical bullshit, otherworldly corruption. They could literally just like offer him a cheeseburger and a blowjob and he'll do it. He's so uncaring. Like, he has no moral fiber whatsoever. Every single heroic thing he does with the promise of something that he's going to get in return. He straight up says multiple times that he doesn't actually care about the lives of people and he only saves and protects people because he likes the admiration that people have for him when he does it. He doesn't actually care about their lives. In fact, oftentimes he will accidentally kill people from the collateral damage of these big over-the-top fights. And again, he's shown very clearly to not give a shit. If he replaces the Doom Slayer as like the hero of the Sentinels that goes after the demons, Azrak doesn't really have to do all that much to convince him to go over to their side. Denji doesn't even really dislike demons. At the very start of the series, he straight up says he doesn't really want to kill demons because he likes them. His best friend is the Chainsaw Devil. The current girl he's trying to get with just like casually murders a bunch of people and he's not like loving it, like he's not into it, doesn't turn him on or anything, but he doesn't really care that much either. It's fine. The fact that the demons in Doom do have a magically enhanced, all-powerful corruption on top of just normal manipulation abilities makes it pretty clear that Denji's gonna be a demon, like a Doom demon by the end of this. I don't see any other outcome for him. The only possible way that I could see him not doing that is if Thera shows up and is like, hey, I'll fuck you if you go and you fight all these demons and beat Azrak and stuff. She would have to give him something that he would want in order for him to not just automatically go to their side, because Azrak's definitely going to give him some stuff that he wants. That's what he does. He makes deals, he manipulates. That's Azrak's whole thing. He's a demon that works on intelligence and manipulation. But I don't see Thera doing that because she seems like a really nice lady. Like, I just feel like she respects herself too much to just sell herself to Denji so that he could, like, she's a proud warrior type character, you know? I don't see that happening. Maybe someone in the Argenta might do something like that, but I don't know. I think that's very specifically something that happens in Chainsaw Man. Most of the time, people are not getting in line to offer up their bodies so that you go out and fight some shit. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's possible, but I don't see it happening freely, and Denji's not really the kind of person to ask. Like, it's usually offered to him because people can read him like a book. He doesn't usually go to women and be like, hey, I'll save you if you promise to fuck me afterwards. Like, that's not really how he works. But I just don't see a chance in hell that Azrak won't see through Denji like he's made out of fucking glass and just offering him all the shit that he wants. He's like, hey, come on my side and I'll give you all the, I'll give you a harem, I'll give you tons of food, I'll give you a big place to stay, you could fight people, that's fun, right? You'll get all of this admiration from like the demon bitches on our side, it'll be great, it'll be awesome, come on over to the demon side. And yeah, you can't really convince me that Denji wouldn't do that. He very, very clearly would. So technically, I guess Denji shouldn't even be this low because he will survive, but does it even really count as surviving if you're, you know, corrupted? Because if he does say yes, which again, I think it's pretty obvious he will, he's just going to eventually turn into like a doom demon anyway, and that still counts as a loss. So yeah, number one. And he'll be the absolute easiest thing on this list for Azric to deal with because of how easily manipulated he is. This shit is not even close. Super intelligent, manipulative villains are basically his kryptonite, as we see in part 1 of the series with Makima. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, and join the membership. Remember, join the membership, you get videos early. Don't forget that we stream every Saturday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. As most things do, these streams vary, but most of the time we do debate streams where you yourself can come in and debate me or other people on many different topics, from who would win in what fight, survival challenges, politics. I don't care, whatever you feel like debating. I don't really limit it over there. As well as coming together as a community to build a community-built tier list. I worded that poorly. Don't forget, we put a second channel up, Rouga's Real House, where everything that is not a survival challenge that I make is going to go over there, and you can go and you can watch it and you can enjoy it and you can, I don't know, pleasure yourself, whatever, I don't know, whatever freaky shit you want to do. We don't judge here. Are you tired of this ad? So am I. Let's get back to the video. Next up on the list, we have Khazan from the first Berserker, Khazan. That doesn't roll off the tongue at all. It should be Khazan the First Berserker. It's a terrible title. It's stupid. It's why this game didn't sell any copies. You shouldn't have called it that. Find a better name. Do better. Now, to be clear, I actually think that this is way too low if we're just talking about like physical capabilities, because I'm pretty sure Khazan, physically speaking, is the most powerful character on this list. Yes, even compared to someone like Godzilla, he is monstrously powerful. I mean, there's a character in this game named Ozma who literally just passively, just by existing in the sheer magical power that comes from his body, is capable of lifting up a like, what do you call it, an island range? Like several different islands that are just lifted out of the water and just floating in the air. Like, he's not trying to do it. It just happens because he's there. Whole fucking islands. When he actually tries to apply any amount of pressure, he's like affecting moons and shit. Like 70% of the way through the game, you fight this big ass dragon named Hismar, and Hismar is so powerful that a single scale of his blacks out the sun and causes this massive like darkness fog storm across an entire continent. Just a single scale. He's a giant fucking dragon so big that each one of his teeth are bigger than Khazan. He's huge. And Khazan beats this guy before the end of the game when he's at his most powerful. Just on a physical level, he's extremely powerful and be capable of slaughtering through the demons without any issue. In terms of skill, it's the same way. So how Khazan's whole power system works is that he has a Blade Phantom inside of him. Not a Blade Phantom, the Blade Phantom. The Blade Phantom is an amalgam spirit that is all of the spirits of a bunch of the greatest warriors who have ever lived all fused into one being. Khazan, without any powers, fights against this being and beats him, meaning Khazan is more skilled than all of the most skilled fighters in the entire world who's ever lived fused together. Then Khazan makes a deal with the Blade Phantom. The Blade Phantom enters his body, and then he acquires all of the skills of all of these previous fighters, and then throughout the game he continuously just kills more people, steals more souls, adds those souls to the amalgam spirit, making himself stronger and more skilled and giving him more talents and all this different kind of stuff. Not only is Khazan on his own the most skilled fighter that has ever lived in his universe, but he also has all of the other most skilled fighters all pushed together in this weird Play-Doh goop thing and thrown inside of his body. This is super impressive. I don't think that there's anything that Azric's demons can do to overcome someone that skilled and that powerful. So, why is he so low on the list? That's because of how Khazan's powers work. Basically, when he kills someone, he steals their souls, their soul goes into him, and he acquires their powers and their abilities and all that kind of stuff, and it becomes a part of the Blade Phantom. It's very, very good, but I wouldn't recommend doing something like that to demons who have a demonic corruption that infects your soul and your body and your mind. It's really, really bad. And while Khazan does actually have very, very high willpower, I mean, the Blade Phantom was not capable of possessing him because of his willpower. The Blade Phantom showed up and thought he would just jump into his body and immediately take him over because he was on the verge of death anyway, so it's like, oh, this will be easy. And then he jumps in, and Khazan's willpower is so fucking strong that, like, the Blade Phantom just can't take him over. He's like, what is this? How is it even possible that your will is this fucking strong? His willpower is so strong that he can like create spear javelin throws that are just made out of his pure willpower and chuck them. His willpower is so good that he can come back from the dead and he's not capable of death because his willpower just brings him back. He has insane levels of willpower. Having said that, there's nothing like the Doom demonic corruption that exists within the Khazan First Berserker universe, at least not that we see him have to deal with. And more importantly, while he does have a very, very high willpower, the entire game is about him becoming corrupted. Like, that's what the whole story is about. Khazan starts off as a noble, good dude, and then he's wronged, and the entire game is about him trying to get his vengeance, going after and killing the things that wronged him. And as the story goes on, he becomes a darker and darker character. The end of the game ends in a very hopeless sort of way, where he still hasn't given up and he's still not satisfied with his vengeance, and it kind of leads into the idea that he will just keep going down this path until he's basically lost all of his humanity. While his willpower did defend him from getting possessed, and the demons do possess people, the corruption isn't really a possession. The corruption is more of that kind of shit. It's a corruption. And yeah, Khazan's pretty susceptible to getting corrupted. Now, you could say, well, that doesn't really make any sense because Doom Guy, his whole thing was vengeance and going after the demons, and he was never corrupted. That's not true. Doom Guy's whole thing was not vengeance. He does hate the demons, that's for sure. But his purpose has always been to defend humanity, not necessarily to kill the demons. Defending humanity always was paramount of just slaughtering everybody. Khazan hates them and just wants to kill them and make them suffer. That's his purpose. Doom Guy doesn't have the same purpose. We know this. I mean, the creators of the original Doom games have even come out and said that he is like as pure of a person as you can get. Even so much so that original Doom Guy in the original games was a virgin. He's never had sex. He was like a Jesus Christ-like figure that killed the demons for the good of humanity. And this, for the most part, has been brought over to the newer games. Just look at the story of Doom Eternal and how it ends. Doom Guy makes a deal with Davith that if Doom Guy beats him, Davith will erase all demons outside of hell and basically trap all the demons in hell so they cannot escape and cause more problems to humanity. Doom Guy wins, this happens, all the demons are erased and hell is locked off, Davith dies, okay? And then Doom Guy passes out because his purpose is done and humanity is safe. If he had the same mindset as Khazan, his next goal would be to go inside of hell and kill all the demons in there as well, because that's what he wants to do for his vengeance. But Doom Guy isn't interested in that, he's just interested in the safety of the people around him. He is the protector of humanity and his purpose is to save them, not to kill the demons. Killing the demons is just like a nice little bonus that he gets to enjoy, you know? So the fact that Khazan is shown to be able to be corrupted again, it's the whole plot of the fucking game, as well as the fact that he's going to constantly be sucking in the souls of demons into his body to strengthen himself, that will absolutely hasten his corruption and pollute his mind and soul even more than it already is being, means I don't think it's going to take any time at all for him to get corrupted, especially considering the numbers of demons he's going to be killing. I mean, Doom Guy kills thousands upon thousands of demons in this game, like so many demons. Khazan is not going to make it halfway through the game before he's corrupted. And honestly, that's not even matter because Khazan won't be the one that's necessarily, I mean, he is absorbing the souls, but he's absorbing the souls because he has the Blade Phantom inside of him, and the Blade Phantom is really absorbing those souls. The Blade Phantom is not shown to be incorruptible. He's not even shown to have willpower even half as much as Khazan does. So even if you want to say that Khazan wouldn't get corrupted, which again, I think he would, the Blade Phantom absolutely will be corrupted since he's the one that's actually getting these souls. And then you're basically gonna have this thing where you have this dark demonic spirit amalgamation thing inside of Khazan constantly trying to take over his soul, mind, and body, and there's really nothing he can do about it. He can't get it out of his body. So yeah, he's done. Again, not gonna be killed. He's really powerful. Like, I honestly think he could probably take on most of the Titans as well. He's just going to get corrupted. I don't see a scenario here where he doesn't. Even with the weaker corruption that exists in the Doom the Dark Ages as opposed to Doom Eternal, most people in the series who are trying to resist the corruption are like getting a little bit rubbed on their skin, you know, right? Like, it's like the difference between rubbing arsenic on your skin and drinking it by the gallon. Khazan will be drinking it by the gallon, ergo, he's just it. He's gonna fucking take. Like, there's no way, right? Next up, we have Godzilla from the Monsterverse. Every time I do one of these videos and I put anyone from the Monsterverse anywhere on it, I get problems. Problems ensue because, surprisingly, the Monsterverse is very heavily tied to the scaling community. The scaling community loves the Monsterverse. They love talking about it. And as we all know, anytime the scaling community gets involved with any universe at any point in any way, then you can basically give up all hope of ever being able to say anything about it that's correct because they're just gonna make up a bunch of random bullshit and you gotta go with whatever they say. They make the rules. And if you don't follow it, you know what's gonna happen. I guess. I don't, because they haven't done anything, but, you know, they complain a lot. Bunch of whiny bitches. So the obvious reason that Godzilla is so high on this list is really just his size. None of the normal basic bitch foot soldier demons are going to be able to do anything to him. Even like the demonic champion type characters, Godzilla is just too big to be harmed by literally anything that they want to do to him. He'll just walk right over them. However, he can't possibly be highest on the list because being that big isn't always a good thing. For one, it makes you a target, a pretty obvious target. I mean, you're towering over the fucking Sentinel cities. Clearly, you're the biggest thing there. This means that there's really no way of avoiding Azrek taking all of his focus and putting it on the giant, nearly 400-foot fucking lizard that shoots atomic bullshit breath at everything that comes. Like, okay, let's kill that thing first, and then we'll deal with the city. And Azrek actually has a lot of shit that can deal with it. He has an entire fucking space fleet that can just fire a bunch of bullshit demonic magic hellfire beams at it whenever he wants to from space. And he has an army of giant demonic titan monsters that are like 30 feet shorter than Godzilla, but he's got like a bunch of them. Like, I'll give Godzilla the benefit of the doubt against like 1 or 2 or 3 titans. I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt against 40 fucking titans. Godzilla's not winning that fight, especially considering that his atomic breath isn't going to be as useful as it normally would. The atomic breath does 2 things. It does radiation and it does heat. The demons are highly resistant to both of those 2 things. And before you say, well, the dragon's fire is clearly shown damaging the titans in the game. Yes, but the dragon's fire is specifically stated in the codex to be magical fire and far more effective than normal fire, so much so that the Sentinels actually use dragon fire for all of their flame weapons instead of normal fire. So you can't base that off of like normal shit. We see in several Doom games, not only Eternal, but also the original games where the demons were even weaker than they are now, where they can just straight up walk through lava without any effect whatsoever. And yes, I know the atomic breath would be hotter than lava, sure, whatever. I'm not saying that's not like their max potential. That's just what we see them do casually. We know that characters like Kong have been able to survive the atomic breath, and he doesn't have any known resistance to any sort of heat. He's just a big fucking monkey. He can't take a fucking swim in a volcano and be okay, but yet being shot by the atomic breath, while it seriously damaged him, it wasn't like a one-shot kill. It like seared his flesh and burnt the hair off of him and stuff. It was doing damage, but his resistance is like non-existent. The Titans not only have a lot of resistance, but they also have their own long-range attacks like hellfire or demonic magic, as well as they wear armor that is very resistant to heat-based weapons, to the point that Sentinels have to rely on magic, Sentinel energy, and Wraith energy just to fight against them. They got big-ass bladed, magical, handheld melee weapons. They got a bunch of different shit, and like I said, I do think that Godzilla overall would be able to overcome a single Titan with some difficulty, possibly even 2 or 3. He's not taking on a full force. I know that Doomguy took on a full force when he was in Atlan. Godzilla is not Doomguy. Any other Atlan outside of specifically Doomguy riding an Atlan has to 1v1 a Titan. The Titans are shown to be of a similar power level to your average Atlan. It's just that Doomguy gets in an Atlan, and suddenly it's not just a fucking Atlan anymore. It's a fucking giant Doomguy Atlan, and it's gonna go fucking up all the Titans. That's how Doomguy works. Come on, pay attention. This series is pretty old. This is how it works. That's not even including the old one, which is a giant fuck you Cthulhu monster that can summon a fucking meteor shower from space to come on top of Godzilla, or create a small little star that he then causes to explode and deals a ton of damage that way. And don't tell me that Godzilla survived the impact that destroyed the dinosaurs. That's not true. I've gone over this in several videos. It's not true. They're taking that shit out of context. Don't just read the individual panel. Actually read that whole comic issue and you'll find out that's not true. He did not survive it. The rock that you see flying towards the planet actually just falls in a crack, and it's a very small rock. It's not the one that caused the explosion. It doesn't matter. Go read the comic or go watch my past video where I talked about it. Godzilla's not that fucking durable. He nearly died by being dropped up above the clouds to the ground. Okay, he's not surviving explosions that nearly destroy the planet. So yeah, basically what's gonna end up happening here is Godzilla's gonna be released. He's gonna mow down a whole lot of foot soldier demons like they're not even there. They don't even exist. Azrek's gonna see him show up. He's gonna send all of his Titans at him. The Titans are just gonna fucking gangbang the shit out of him, and that's gonna be it. It's gonna be over. I don't even think he's gonna make it far enough to have to deal with the old one, or the fact that Azrek's eventually gonna get the power of the Wraiths, which allow him to just resurrect a bunch of Titans, so that Godzilla's basically just gonna have to fight an infinite fucking cycle of Titans that are gonna constantly come after him. He'll kill them, they'll come back to life, and it's just gonna keep happening until he's fucking dead. There's no real way around dealing with that other than Azrek, but Azrek can now like fly super fast and shit because he grows wings. He's really cool. He's clearly a reference to Devilman. That's very clearly a reference to Devilman is what that is. And then Godzilla's gonna have to fight this little super speed mosquito thing that he can't hit because, like, I mean, shoot all the atomic breath you want. You know, I have a shotgun shotgun, I'm not gonna kill a fucking mosquito with a shotgun. I mean, I might, but the odds are pretty low. It's the same thing here. You're never gonna kill Azaric. You're too fucking big. Good fucking luck. So yeah, no, Godzilla loses here. Gang banged by giant Titan demon monsters. Last up, but certainly not least, we have Excalibur from the Warframe, not series, just individual, one game. Shit, when's I gonna make a sequel? This shit's been out forever. So there are some things we gotta clarify about Warframe and some things that I've said in the past and sort of fix or correct because people fucking suck and they tell you wrong things all the time. It happens. You're just gonna have to get used to it. It's a thing. So I've made a couple of videos in the past where I've talked about Warframe, right? And in those videos, people get mad at me because I apparently think they're too weak or whatever. I don't think they're really as strong as people say they are. Well, a couple videos ago, someone came to me and said like, hey, Rouga, you know what? There's that thing that Atlas where he destroyed the meteor. It was gonna destroy Earth and he fucking just punched into a million pieces. The Warframe universe is actually super, super strong. And I was like, you know what? I do kind of remember that in the lore that I read where it was like, yeah, he did destroy a meteor. Okay, maybe I need to correct my thinking a little bit. So I made a video, and in the video I talked about the Atlas punching thing was going to destroy the planet, right? Because I listen to people, which is something you should never do. You should just never listen to people. And then somebody else approached me on Discord and they're like, you know what? I think you should read that meteor feed again because I think you're wrong about it. And I was like, fuck, dude, they said I was wrong before. I can't be wrong now. So I went back and I read it again and it was like, oh, wow, yeah, no, I was right the first time. It ain't a fucking... He didn't blow up a meteor and it was gonna destroy a planet. Fuck you guys. There was a meteor that was heading for Earth. Atlas tried to destroy it with a punch. Didn't work, couldn't destroy it, he couldn't even damage it. So he came together with a bunch of like minions, we don't know what number, could have been 10, could have been a fucking billion, and then they covered all across the meteor, and they looked and sensed within the Earth of the meteor, it's a meteor from space, we're calling it Earth meaning dirt, or like rock, not like the planet Earth. Anyway, they were scanning it trying to find weaknesses, and then Atlas and all of his minions together using their geomancy powers, because they're geomancers, strike it in individual weak spots, splitting it apart, and then that's how they were able to do it. There's no way to look at this feat and come to any conclusion of how strong it is because it's just so many weird variables here. No, Atlas did not just punch a fucking meteor that was gonna destroy Earth into a million pieces. That's not what happened. Y'all are fucking liars. See, this is why you don't trust people. You just do whatever you want. You want to stick a firecracker up your ass? Someone comes up and says, hey, I don't think that's a smart idea. Just don't listen to that person. Just fucking let it go. You might get superpowers. Who knows? I don't know. I've never done that. Maybe that's the key to happiness right there, is sticking fireworks up your ass. Now, I know this is the part where I'm supposed to come out and say that, you know, the Rouga Rabid YouTube channel does not think that you should stick firecrackers up your ass and just totally ruin the fucking awesome, amazing joke that I just told because, like, I guess people are fucking retarded, but I'm not gonna do that. Look, if you're the kind of person who, because I say stick a firecracker up your ass, you stick a firecracker up your ass and blow yourself up, I would say, I hope you stick dynamite up your ass. I hope you blow yourself in half, you stupid fuck. It's people like you that are the reason that all my guns have this stupid fucking little warning on it, completely ruining, like, the cool appearance of the gun by having this gay little warning that's like, hey, if you take this gun and stick it in your mouth and pull the trigger, you blow your fucking head off. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't need you to tell me that. That's why I bought the gun. Fuck you people who made me add that shit to my gun. What was I talking about? Right, Warframe. Another feat people like to talk about is Inaros creating a sandstorm that was so big that it covered an entire desert. And people like to say this is like continental or multi-continental or whatever bullshit. Okay, whatever. And they take that and they take the energy that was required to make that and then they just like apply it to his physical punches and durability and literally everything that he can do. And then they apply that across literally everything every Warframe can do across the entire universe. And that's how powerful the universe is. At bare minimum, they can do this sandstorm thing. Y'all know how I feel about this. You've been watching this. I think this is stupid. Like, just because Storm from the X-Men can create a storm that covers the entire planet doesn't mean I can't come up and stab her in the face with a pocket knife and kill her immediately. I don't know what that has to do with the energy of someone's punches. Just because you can create a storm around the entire world doesn't mean that you could put all of the energy that was required to make that storm into a single individual attack and strike one person with it. It's like an area of effect thing. He can create sandstorms. That's what he can do. He created a sandstorm across the entire desert. That's a really impressive area of effect. Where is the evidence he can take all of that energy, like he controls the energy that makes sandstorms as opposed to just his power over sandstorms? Like, he doesn't have energy control. That's not the thing. And then he takes all that energy and then puts it into a single punch. Like, that doesn't, no, that's not how it works. In reality, none of the Warframes are shown having that much physical power. It's all pretty basic. The most impressive thing we got is Rhino stomping on the ground so hard that he stops time, which, how do you even measure that? What even is that? The Warframe can be harmed with guns and knives and swords and hammers and all the normal stuff that can hurt everybody else. We know they're more durable because their flesh is like a metal sort of armored casing shit. It's not like normal flesh. Like, they're definitely durable, but yeah, no, all this stuff, people, they're wrong. They're wrong. So now finally actually coming to the point where we're talking about Excalibur. Don't just take Excalibur and all the things I say about Excalibur and then just suddenly try and compare them to fucking Atlas destroying a meteor or Inaros creating a sandstorm, because it's totally irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant to how powerful this dude is. He can't create sandstorms, and no one ever punched a meteor. So what can Excalibur actually do? Well, in terms of all of the Warframes, he's the most skilled. It's specifically stated that he has mastery over literally every single weapon type, with a even more impressive mastery over specifically swords. He has a bonus when using swords. He does way more damage when he's using a sword than when he uses anything else, but he is also a master marksman, and he is a master at all other types of weapons. He's also extremely fast, capable of moving so fast that even people who could see speedsters can't really see him moving. There's really no way to tell quite how fast he's moving. However, there are attacks within the series that are light-based attacks that he is capable of moving out of the way of and dodging. Whether or not he's actually dodging the light or the person firing the light is up for debate. However, I don't think there's enough evidence here to say that he is light speed. I honestly don't even think there's enough evidence to say that Gauss, who is the fastest Warframe in the entire series, is necessarily light speed. They're all just very, very fast, and the most consistent thing they can do speed-wise is deflecting like tons and tons of bullets that are fired at them. There's just like a single button press where someone can fire like an automatic rifle, just mow you all up and down with the gun, and you could just deflect all of the bullets out of the way. That's pretty consistent. At bare minimum, I would say that they're definitely faster than sound, several times faster than sound, more likely. But anything more than that, I think that you're kind of stretching it. Possibly you can argue for Gauss, but not really anybody else. Outside of that, he has the ability to summon swords that are made out of energy that appear directly next to his targets, and then they just sort of telepathically, not telepath, with like fucking levitates, I don't know. They're floating in the air, and then they fucking go through the people they're trying to kill, and boom, he skewers them all with these spectral swords. It happens to all of them at the same time, and he can kill like a whole room of people that way. He also has his one really overpowered, crazy, like insane special move that every Warframe has, and his is that he summons the Exalted Blade. The Exalted Blade not only does way more damage and he can swing it a lot faster than normal swords, but when he swings it also makes this energy wave attack that goes forward. Now, the thing that makes the Exalted Blade so impressive is that there's this stat in the game called Pass-Through, which is basically that every single object in the game has like some kind of durability stat, and Pass-Through allows you to do attacks that go through that and then pass through and hit something else. There are mods in the game that you can use to increase your pass-through ability and allow you to go through several targets, possibly, 5, 6, 7 people before your bullet or whatever it is you're firing at people stop. The thing that makes the Exalted Blade so good is that those waves that it fires out have unlimited pass-through. They're essentially durability negation and slice directly through anything that you attack, and it doesn't matter how durable it is, it's going through. This is, for obvious reasons, the most powerful thing that he can do. A super skilled, super amazing swordsman who runs around at high speeds, summoning spectral blades and slicing through literally everything like it's not even there, across an entire battlefield with basically infinite stamina, is what you are going to get when you put Excalibur against the demons in this challenge. Now, the only question left to answer is whether or not he would actually be able to overcome it, and I think for the most part, yeah, probably. The only problem I think there would be is whether or not he would be corrupted, and I know people want to use the really, really bad argument that the Void corruption doesn't affect Warframes or the Tenno, so basically they're immune to all forms of corruption, including demonic corruption. This is absolutely retarded. I feel like even the people who use this argument know that they're lying, because the Warframes are already corrupted. The Void corruption is what created the Warframes, and they're what created the Tenno. So they're not immune to the corruption, they're already corrupted. That would be like me saying that the demons are immune to corruption because they can't be corrupted by the doomed demonic corruption, but they were corrupted by it. That's what made them demons in the first place. So it's like, it doesn't make any sense. So no, I don't think there's any evidence whatsoever that the Warframes or the Tenno would be immune to the demonic corruption. The one thing they've got going for them is that the corruption in Doom the Dark Ages is nowhere near as potent as it was in Eternal, which is why I think they probably have a chance. Basically, it's going to be a race against time, as Excalibur is going to have to rush through the battlefield, killing all the demons, getting to Azric and defeating him before he falls to the corruption, which will likely happen in a relatively short period of time, since he doesn't even really have anything that can defend against. Like, the corruption still affects anything with a body, mind, or soul, and while it's arguable whether or not the Warframes have souls or minds, they do very clearly have bodies, and those bodies, while are metal-like, are still like a bio-metal. Like, it's still flesh. They're still people. They're not robots. So I really don't see an issue as to why they wouldn't be corrupted. And even if they weren't corrupted, the Tenno could be corrupted. I do think it would take longer for the Tenno to be corrupted because the Tenno's not like on the battlefield. They'd be somewhere else away because they're kind of like puppeting the Warframes from really, really far away. So I think that he'll make it. Like, I think it'll be long. There's enough factors there that makes it iffy that the corruption will be able to take him over easily that I think you can say that he would probably have enough time to actually get through and fight everybody before he's actually taken out by the corruption. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I think he's going to get through it no problem, because while he is fast and skilled, you can arguably say that many of the demons are just as fast and just as skilled. We know that the Sentinels are fast enough to like dodge and react to light in much the same way that we see the Warframes do, and considering that many of the demons can take on the Sentinels in 1v1 fights, they are probably somewhere around that same level. Also, the fact that demons like the Aghanon Hunter are incredibly skilled weapon masters who should be able to put up a really good fight against Excalibur. So I do think Excalibur can get through. It's gonna be a challenge, there's no doubt about that. I don't think there's much argument that you can give that it wouldn't be a challenge, and I think he probably hard stops when he gets to Azrek if Azrek gets the Wraith powers. If he succeeds in stopping Azrek from acquiring the Wraith powers, I think he could probably beat him in a fight relatively easily to an extent. If not, and he's actually forced to take him on in a 1v1 fight, I think that Azrek is probably skilled enough at that point that he could kill him pretty easily. I mean, Azrek at that point was so powerful that the Slayer was super hard struggling to fight against him, and we're not even counting the fact that Azrek has mind control powers, which is particularly bad for the Warframes, that the Warframe are already being mind controlled and puppeted by the Tenno. So if Azrek tries to take over the Warframe, I don't really see a reason why he wouldn't be able. Basically, it would be his mental powers against the Tenno's mental powers, and it would just be up to who can control who better. And I think the pretty clear winner there would be Azrek, because Azrek is actually capable of controlling people across universal barriers. He can be in hell and control people in another universe and then see through their eyes, speak out of their mouth. They actually become way more powerful than they were before he controlled them. And the Tenno just aren't shown to be anything like that. The Tenno can only control the Warframes, only their Warframes, because they have a specific link to those Warframes. And they don't add any sort of extra power or anything. They're literally just puppeting them. That's it. Azrek's mental mind control abilities are shown to be far more powerful than the Tenno's mind control ability. So he might be able to just straight up take away the Warframe from the Tenno, and now like it's my fucking Warframe. I can use. I'm taking it from you. And that's before he gets the Wraith powers. Once he gets the Wraith powers and his mind control abilities like shoot through the fucking roof, then yeah, like I don't see any argument that exists that the Tenno wouldn't be worse than Azrek in that particular category once he acquires the Wraith powers. Before, maybe you have some argument, although I don't think a very good one. Afterwards, nothing. Like there's nothing to do. So really the Tenno are just gonna be like, I don't know, like just chilling, like not having anyone to control, just them themselves. And then Excalibur's just gonna be running around killing the Sentinels and shit, working for Azrek. That's kind of how I see this going. But still, Excalibur does deserve to be last on this list, since it seems like really the only thing that's for sure gonna stop him is going to be Azrek himself. Getting through pretty much the entire demon hordes, while I do think there's a chance he'll fall before that, he's comfortable enough that he can get through it without falling, that I think it's fine. Like if it specifically wasn't for the mental mind powers and the Wraith powers, I think that Excalibur actually has a really good chance of winning this. But you know, he does have the mind control and shit, so it's like too fucking bad. Better luck next time. But that's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, and join the membership. Make sure you join the membership, you get videos early. And always remember, y'all stay safe out there, you hear?